Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said that we are actively prepping for attack. Now, what does that mean and who is it on? We're going to discuss that today. Something that I absolutely love. You know why? Because for some time, we always tend to go to wars that don't actually benefit Americans. What I will say with this administration is the things that we are targeting are helping Americans and also our thought patterns for true peace across the world. Wait till you hear what Pete Hegseth said about preparing his troops to kill. Wait till you hear who it is. We'll discuss that and how, man, the left will go nuts over it. Also, we're going to discuss SNAP again, EBT. We're going to talk about how many people have been on for how long. The question is this, like for instance, when I go downtown, I know two guys who are looking, they have help wanted signs in their stores. One is a hardware store. They're paying $16 to $18 an hour to literally stock shelves. The other is someone who cuts grass even in the winter for fall, and he's willing to pay $16 to $18 an hour too. What's amazing is if people did not have everything given to them, they may have to work a little harder for things, correct? We're going to discuss that. And also the kickback. A lot of people say, well, we're older, we have to be on it. That proves my point that government's intervention in our life, like Social Security and how we are mandatorily having to give into it to realize that it does not give enough back to us as seniors, shows that it's a broken system, isn't it? We'll discuss all that with the government intervention because what we've realized is government programs don't work. Also, government mandatory obligations don't work. And then lastly, we're going to discuss what USDA said about their reports. They're trying to get reports from the states. When Trump went in, he wanted reports to the states how many illegal immigrants were getting SNAP benefits and how it should be passed to Americans only to help American families. Wait till you hear what these states told. And actually, now they're suing the government because they want to keep on giving it to illegal. See, here's the battle. We want America first, and we want America to thrive. I love how the left always seems to benefit everyone else other than Americans. We'll discuss that and a few more things. Wait till you hear some of these stories today on this Monday. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new, please go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but let us know what you think about the content of today's video. Now let's jump into the stories of the day because that's why you're here. First, let's talk about SNAP, and then we'll roll right into what Pete Hegseth said. But I want to hit SNAP first. Now, you know, that's really the biggest battle right now going on for November 1st, November 2nd, you know, the shutdowns hurting people that are on SNAP. Let's go through just a few things that we should know about SNAP. When Brooke Rollins went in as USDA, that's who oversees SNAP. On my first day, this is a quote from her, we told every state to send us their SNAP data so we can make sure illegal immigrants are not getting benefits that are meant for American families. Remember, SNAP, EBT, Social Security, welfare programs, Medicaid, all that is not meant for other people. It's meant for Americans. If the government makes us pay into this system, don't you think we should only want to help Americans? Now, this is a America First policy here that Republicans are saying. Trump is saying, look, I want to help Americans only. Now, Democrats are not saying that, and here's the proof. Of the American states, 29 states stepped up and gave us the information to make sure that their states were giving to the people who are not illegal. And if they were, then they would help clean up the rolls and whatever they saw fit that the government wanted them to do. 21 states, of the 21 states, they were all 100% blue states. They refused, and they started suing the government for asking to get their rolls of who is getting EBT help. Now, federal government's giving the money to the states. The states now are mad that the federal government wants to audit who is actually getting the benefits. The Democrat Party has turned its back on the working Americans and built its entire strategy of protecting illegal immigrants. They know the handouts stop, that will hurt. And listen to this. They said if they stop the benefits, the EBT benefits, if they stop the government handouts, they said that the Democrats would lose over 20 plus seats based on the census because these people would have to go back home to feed their families. I want you to listen to that again. If we stop the EBT and benefits for illegals, the Medicaid, the Social Security, all that, the Medicare for all, this is what the Democrats are fighting for now. listen to this, the Democrats would lose 20 plus seats based on next census because these people could not stay here illegally without government intervention. Think about that for a second. You wonder how they win all these big elections. You wonder how they win these cities and urban areas. This tells you exactly how they win it, by feeding them and medicating them to a point to keep them there for the census numbers to get the congressmen elected that ultimately benefit illegals more than Americans. What did I tell you the other day? Every American that I know that's getting Social Security right now usually is anywhere from $700 to about $1,500. I don't know anyone getting over that amount in Social Security benefits, just standard benefits. When New York, California, and Chicago were giving the benefits, Illinois were giving the benefits to the illegal immigrants, that were living in these camps and they were taking care of them, the average illegal immigrant family was getting over $2,000 per older individual, per person, per independent person leading that family to pay for the things, along with free medicine, along with free housing. So you tell me who is getting benefited in this whole situation and why the Democrats are up in arms trying to shut down America and hurt the Americans is because they want the benefit of the legal immigrants because they need that for their votes. Do you realize we'd have a supermajority in the Senate and the House, they said, if illegals were not counted in the Congress, but also didn't help sway the cities in voting for the Democrats? Even the state elections for the Senate, they said it would actually pull probably another 4 to 5 at least without the gerrymandering and without the illegal immigrants being in districts and being in states. For not only Congress, but for Senate too. 20 plus seats in Congress. They said another 4 to 5 for Senate based on the movement of these people. So you wonder why this EBT fight's a big deal? Now, that's one thing. That's bad enough as it is that the Democrats are fighting for not only 42 million, but for the legal immigrants. And here's the thing. Why do we have 42 million on the system? I want to go through the numbers. The average set of people on SNAP right now, they said are on SNAP over a year. They said the average American's on it for a year to 2. And they said some are what we consider lifetime, meaning they're not on there for a lifetime, but they're saying that they've lived majority of their life on EBT benefits. And here's a few problems with this. Why? Why? This is a government program that is not helping people get out of poverty. It's helping them stay into poverty, correct? Now here's another thing. I got major kickback last week, and I have an older crowd that watches me, so I want you to understand what I'm saying here. When elder people are getting SNAP, it's not that I don't want them to have SNAP. Here's the thing. If we buy into a system that's mandatorily made you pay into Social Security that's getting about a 4 or 5% graduated, pooled interest per year when the S&P is getting 11 or 12%, which is private, and we're made to pay in Social Security, and it's not our money, it's other people's money, and it's basically saying, well, we're paying for the people now, the people that's coming up is going to pay for us, and those same people that's paid into the system for 40 and 50 years, you've paid into the system 40 and 50 years, and then all of a sudden when you retire, you don't have enough to retire, and you still have to have government assistance on food and medicine. That's a broken system, people. So instead of saying, let's keep 42 million on it, how about this? How about we open work requirements for it? How about we do random drug tests? How about we offer whole foods, eggs, milk, all the healthiest things only bought from farmers? What if we opened it to where EBT could only be accepted from a farmer or farmer's market or Whole Foods vendor or local vendor of that town? You know how much that would change everything when people couldn't get Pepsi and Cokes and Dr. Peppers? It would make the people who actually need the food benefits stay on the food benefits, and they would get healthier and be better equipped. And it would actually benefit the farmer and the American grower, wouldn't it? It would actually stop. It would shut down this waste of these multi-billion-dollar companies getting the benefits and actually robbing people blind and keeping people on this garbage food. We would solve it. You make work requirements, it would happen. I told you in the intro. I asked a guy we saw at a store just 2 days ago. Hardware store. Hardware store is hiring, can't find anybody to work, looking for someone to pay them $16, $18 an hour, which is a good wage in Mississippi. And another guy was trying to find somebody to cut grass. He said, even though we're going into fall, we're not cutting as much grass, we're cutting weeds and just, manicuring beds. He said, I can't find workers. He said, because the benefits from the government are more than people getting out here to work. He said, and then what we've done is we've built a dependent system. And you wonder why I have to get out here and work. His guy was 65 years old. He said, you wonder why I have to get out here and still work is because I have to pay for everybody else not to. big statement. So the SNAP EBT thing, you have 21 states that are all Democratic ran, not wanting to give data to show that they're wasting money in the system. You have 29 states willing to work for only Americans. Let's start making requirements to help people out, to get out of poverty, to get out of government assistance, and actually start doing something for themselves instead of trying to keep them on the system. Because when you keep them on the system, you end up being like a socialist or a communist or fully dependent on the government to give you everything you need. And that is where we've led right now, to where people are worried that they're not going to get their benefits from the government. Also, it's being held over their head. So it proves that the government is not, they're willing to hold your money up while they're getting paid and being filthy rich, all in the name of people who don't even pay into taxes and people here illegally, because it benefits them and not you. Pay attention. This is America First, helping American families, and then start helping American farms, and start helping a local business, and then start saying, hey, look, I will incentivize you going to work. You can keep your EBT benefits for another 6 months as long as you keep a job. You start incentivizing things like that, I think people would actually start realizing the importance of helping other Americans and actually taking care of themselves. We're fixing to roll right into what Pete Hegseth said, because as a Christian, this is important, and I've been bringing awareness to it. But before we do, a word from today's sponsored chapter. Now, I've been talking about this chapter for a long time, and if we go through these government benefits, we talk about all the dangers of what the government's doing in our life. Well, Medicare is a big part of that because people just don't understand it. If you're 65 and older or about to be, this is open enrollment for one thing, but also there's situations where you don't understand if you have enough coverage or not when it comes to your supplements or your parts, or understanding, is this person trying to take advantage of me? Am I buying too much coverage? Do I have enough coverage? Well, that's where Chapter comes alongside and helps. This number below, call them. Go check it out. Link in the description too. You spend 15 minutes on the phone, you can save $1,100. The average American who is calling this number right here is saving $1,100 a year. Think about $1,100, what that could do to help you. Yeah, it can help you get more money saved. It could help you buy more food. It could help you give your kids some little Christmas bonuses, whatever it may be, but it's $1,100. Please check with Chapter below. It's free. It costs you nothing. And if you're on the best plan, they're going to tell you. But if you're not, they can help you because they have went all over the country to find the very best plans to not take advantage of you, but to give you the best benefit. Check with Chapter today. They will benefit you. And I believe this is probably one of the best advertisements I do because I've had the most testimonials emailed back to me, messaged back to me saying thank you. I want to save you money, not spend you money. So please go down here, check with Chapter, and I promise you, if you're 65 and older or about to be, this could be a game changer for you in your life. Check with Chapter today. I want you to listen to this little snippet first from this Muslim being interviewed. I want you to listen to this.
What message do you want to give to the far-right people? The message I want to give to the far-right people is we're here to take over your country. You can't stop us. You can try, but we're here to uphold Sharia law, and yeah, that's it. All right.
Now, the reason I wanted you to listen to that is because of what Pete Hegseth just said and the dangers of what we're facing in New York, in Minneapolis, and in a lot of other places all across America. Now listen to this. This is from Pete Hegseth. It just came out the last few hours. It says, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth says the U.S. military is actively preparing to kill Islamists who are exterminating Christians in Nigeria following President Trump's directive. Yes, sir, the killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria and anywhere must end today. The Department of War is preparing for action. Either the Nigerian government protects Christians, or we will come in there and decimate for the ones committing these horrible atrocities. Now, this is for a lot of North Africa. You know what I love about this? You know what I love about this? And also about the drug boats. You know what I love about this? This is what America voted for. Not to just go and cause harm all over the world, not for 20-year wars, nothing like that. But we are a Christian nation, a city on a hill, and people look to us to help them. If that's the case, and that's true, then let's not worry about what's happening across the world that we can't affect. But what about Armenia and Azerbaijan? That was a big deal with Christians. We were able to negotiate peace there. What about several Christian families who said Trump's negotiations in Gaza helped? Even some of the Palestinians said that. And see, you don't hear that news coverage because you hear the spin on it, how bad Israel is, but that's not the case. If you actually look at the people on the ground, they're thankful for Trump doing this. And then now, There is churches. They said there's been thousands upon thousands upon thousands of churches destroyed and burned. There's been hundreds of thousands of people killed, including children. I don't see the UN. I don't see CNN. I don't see Greta Thunberg. I don't see all the right-wing woke podcasters. I don't see Tucker Carlson doing interviews about Nigerian Christians. He'll talk very highly of Hamas and talk very highly of Gaza and Palestine, but not really talk anything about this. He was just bragging about Sharia law in Abu Dhabi and some of these other places. But no, we're not going to talk about the Islamic terrorist threat that's happening in Nigeria. You know why this is important? Because if we stop it here, we can prove that we can stop it anywhere. There was a comment done I thought was so right, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm fully for it. So this goes on and says, that he's going after the terrorists in Nigeria, and he's willing to take their lives. I love that. I love that. I don't want people to die, but if they are not going to do what they're supposed to do, then let's take them out. I love what this person said, though, because I thought this was just right on. He said, if we can do this, why can't we take care of Europe too for the sake of Christendom? He said, why don't we purge England of this Islamic threat? Did you remember what I just showed you with that guy? That guy saying what they're going to do, what their plans are for the West, for Australia, did you see there was in Russia now, there was a Muslim march overtaking the streets. It's happening in the Middle East. It's happening now, of course, in Europe, and it's happening in America. We're allowing two of our biggest cities in America, the biggest, but another big city, be overrun by Muslims. The same religion who says they want to take and harm Americans, harm Christians. Now, you hear the left, and you hear the woke right talk about how bad some of these other places are, like Israel and all that. I don't have any people from the Jewish faith talking about how they want to kill Americans. Most of them are thankful for it. Even our president spoke at their coalition via Zoom the other day. We have one religion that's trying to take over the world, that's wanting to kill everybody. And I love the fact that Pete Hegseth is calling them out. And you know what? This is what true leadership looks like. If we're seeing Christians harmed across the world, and we're seeing people that are getting drugs brought over here and causing problems for families, then let's fix that right now. And Trump is starting to do it. This is what leadership looks across the world. This is America first, people. This is protecting the homeland, protecting our borders, protecting our people. The SNAP benefits is protecting that. He's saying, look, if we're going to give SNAP benefits, if Americans are going to have to pay into Social Security and Medicare and SNAP benefits, then it should go to only Americans, correct? And if people want to give across the world to different things like Samaritan's Purse, if people want to give to food banks, let people have the option to do that for themselves. Let churches be able to do that. See, that's what we've lost. We've allowed the government to get too powerful to be over a lot of things that they suck at leading with. I think what Trump's administration is showing, no matter what some of the right is trying to dismantle, I think what Trump is doing is actually some of the best leaders, the best leadership we've ever seen from the president. You know why? Name one other president that went across the world and fought for America. Don't say Biden. Every time he went across the world, he never got anything accomplished other than giving things away from America. Obama went and apologized to everyone. Bush went to make his family filthy rich. This is the first time that we've had a president actually bring money back to America. Do you realize that? Do a Google search on it. Or I wouldn't say do a Google search. Do another search on it. Because I promise you, if you dive into it, you're going to realize he is the only president that actually has brought surpluses back to America. He's the only one trying to cut the budget. It's sad that we're to a point where we have to brag on someone wanting to save Americans money, and we have to justify a president working for America. It's unbelievable. And what this Christian push, I've told you, I want to bring awareness to it because we're Christians and we will face this same persecution, especially when we allow this religion to come over to America like we're doing, like the left is doing. Remember that story yesterday with Christy Noem? She said 6,000 Terror Watch List recipients have received Social Security, have received a Social Security number, so they're here planning something. And it's not to have cupcakes and rainbows and have a birthday party in the neighborhood. It's not that. This religion is going to cause harm. If we're not careful, we're going to allow it to happen. So I absolutely love what we're doing with the shutdown. shut the legal immigrants from getting all these benefits, because a lot of those illegal immigrants are not just from South, they're from the Middle East. It's a great move. I love the fact that Pete Hegseth is calling out this leadership of the Islam and saying, look, if you don't straighten it up, we're coming over there and we're going to annihilate you. You're not going to harm Christians anymore. That is real leadership. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video. My goal is I want to see Christ first. That's all. When we live as Christians, I believe we're going to take care of the widows and the poor. I think we're actually going to be better as a nation. We're going to be the city on a hill. Not economically, but spiritually. And that means we have to make sure that these other religions are not trying to cause harm across the world. And I think there's only one that's doing that, and that's Islam. And if we're not careful, we're allowing them to come here. That's why we have to speak about this, and that's why Pete Hegseth going after them in North Africa is going to prove the point that we can go for them here as well when they cause problems. This is real leadership. Now we need to see this from Congress, Senate, and the Supreme Court, and actually start seeing better leadership and influencing from the right as well. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video. God bless.